Hey, it's Jeff Goolsby from the Goolsby Group, and you might be wondering how you should price your home. Right now, it's a wild seller's market, and the top question that I'm getting right now is, how do I price my home? My neighbor's house, or my friend just sold his house for $50,000 over asking price. I think my house is worth $600. Should I list it for $650? $670? Where should I price it? I heard it's a crazy seller's market. Buyers are willing to pay whatever for a home. How should I price my home? Well, I'm going to answer that question, but first I'm going to answer the other one that might be on your mind, which is, where did you get that awesome sweater? And I know I'm sidetracking a little bit here, but I want to show off this sweater. It's my grandpa's sweater. It's my grandpa's birthday today, and I got this sweater from him. I'm doing it to honor Pops. Now, to answer the question, the real reason that we're here, how should you price your home? Well, first and foremost, and I'm not going to get too deep into this, but first and foremost, there's two things that need to happen when you're presenting your home. And that is, right now, even in the seller's market, you need to make sure your home shines. You need to make sure that your home inspires people to make an offer, right? You want buyers to be fighting for your home, not you don't want to be convincing them that they need to buy your home, right? You have the power right now in the seller's market. Don't rely solely on that power. Use that power, leverage that power, and leverage activity and maybe some sweat equity, just cleaning up and maybe doing some little updates and here and there. Do some things to make sure that the buyers are inspired to purchase your home. If you do, you'll reap the reward. Number two is make sure that once you've done those things, your property shows properly online. That is so important right now. And I know I'm not answering your pricing question just yet, but because these first two things are so important that if you don't get those right, then your pricing doesn't even matter. Okay? So, number 1 and 2, make sure your property is shining. Make sure it shows well online and it's properly merchandised or advertised. Okay? Now we got that out of the way. You've done those two things. Great. Now, how do you price your home? Well, for a long time, we've been following what we call the sweet spot strategy. And that's where we have to take 3 things into consideration. 1, what is the absolute bottom line for you? At what price would you no longer be willing to sell your home? It's important to know. Number 2, what have other buyers been willing to pay for your home in the neighborhood? Now that's an old strategy. We've looked at that forever, and it's called the comps, right? What are the comparable home sales that have happened in your area? And not just maybe your area. Right now, because inventory is a little bit short, because we have, especially in the Sacramento area, we have buyers that are coming from outside of our market. They're not maybe so focused on one specific neighborhood. They're looking at the area as a whole. So you might want to take into consideration what other homes have sold for in other similar neighborhoods near you, or even in Rockland or Antelope, or a comparable city, whatever kind of market you're in. All right. So that's the second thing. The third thing that you need to be aware of is, who is your competition right now? What other properties are out there on the market? What's active that you're competing with that other buyers will be looking at? Because that is how we establish the buyer's perception. So now that we have those 3 things, once you understand those numbers, what are the active listings going for right now? What have the solds gone for in the past? What is my bottom line? That's how we arrive to the sweet spot. Now, the old method of pricing was, here's what the high price is, here's what the medium price is, and here's what the low price is. And the reality in this market is that we do not know what the high price is. We don't. We don't know. If an agent tells you they know what the high price for your home is, they don't. Right now, buyers are willing to pay a premium, and sometimes 10% over asking price for your home. 10%. That's not a completely rare instance. That is happening right now. Now, how in the world could we ever prepare for that? How could we know that a buyer would be willing to come in here and pay 10% over your asking price? So However, that's not the case all around, and that's not so consistent that we can plan for it. So we wouldn't want to price your home 10% higher than what it should be, because that could be a really big problem to you, which is why we need to establish the sweet spot. What's your bottom line? What have other homes sold for, and what are we competing with? When you get to that spot and you've done the first two things that I told you to do, you will be successful. You will sell your home for that sweet spot price or higher, and you'll win in real estate. That's what so many of our clients are doing right now. If you're curious more about that, or if you want to know exactly what the sweet spot would mean to you, then let me know. It's not a complex question to answer, but it's not a simple one either, right? It does take seeing your property. It does take understanding what your bottom line is, and it does take knowing what's going on in the market right now in order to arrive to that number for you. So I hope that answers your question on how should I price my home. You got to prepare. You got to make sure it's presented well. You got to make sure you understand what your bottom line is. You got to know what homes have sold for in the area, in areas just like yours, and you got to know your competition. You do those things, you will be successful when you sell your home.